Did you feed the cat this morning? Aside from being the patron of the Burnside Bowling Club, there is a story, folks, you can ask her later. Lianne stepped down just recently as the Mayor of Christchurch after serving in the role for 3 terms. Prior to that, Lianne was a Member of Parliament for 23 years and had the privilege of serving as a Cabinet Minister under Prime Minister Right Honourable Helen Clark. How's that? Yes. It was in her time as the Minister for Senior Citizens that she opened Parksyde 21 years ago. Lianne, thank you for making the trip and for returning to Parksyde. Can I welcome you?
E na mana, e na reo, e na iwi o te motu wai hui nei, tēnā ake mihi nui kia koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. I did want to acknowledge Mana Whenua, Te Arawa, and to thank you all very much for having me here today. Can I also acknowledge Todd McClay? I think Todd was in Parliament when I was still there, so a former parliamentary colleague from across the House. It's great to see you still here and representing your community, and thank you for being here today. And I was really looking forward to meeting Tanya Dalziel, her worship, the Mayor of Rotorua. I served with your great uncle. He was, so I served with him for 6 years, and for 3 of those years he was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and so it was a great honour and a privilege to be able to serve with him, but to meet you as well. And yeah, no, I'm thrilled to be here. And can I acknowledge all of the councils in total? I have to call out Trevor because he's my old mate. I've known Trevor for almost as long as he's been serving. But what a record of service, and I'm glad you now hold that #1 position in the country. So it's great. And look, 21 years ago I acknowledged Peter Fitchett by name, the name for the position, the chair of the Older Persons Community Centre Trust, there right from the start. What a tremendous, tremendous contribution to this community and to the whole district of Rotorua. I mean, it's an amazing contribution. Thank you for what has been an unwavering commitment and support for people. Can I acknowledge all of the trustees? And I know that one of the trustees, Wendy, is the daughter of another person that I acknowledged 21 years ago, and that was Roma Cook. And I didn't acknowledge Roma that day as a councillor or a trust member. I actually acknowledged her because she was one of the volunteer community coordinators that we had in districts and cities all around the country, and they were the magic of this tiny little senior citizens unit within the wider department, but that they were the ones who took out all of the strategies, did all of the setting up of discussions, that they really were the heart and soul of the support that we got directly from the community to support the role that we were doing. So I'm really absolutely over the moon that you're here today. I also acknowledge representatives of the then Rotorua Energy Charitable Trust and the other sponsors that helped get the original project off the ground, not to mention the Rotorua Lakes Council for the ground itself and the peppercorn rental and the rates remission. All of those things add up to a huge contribution, but they make such a difference. Today may be the 3rd time lucky for the celebration of, but it's 21 years lucky for the Rotorua community as we celebrate not just the place but the incredible volunteers and the participants that have breathed life into this amazing facility, which I had the honour to open 21 years ago. I hadn't actually expected to be the Minister for Senior Citizens when we formed a government after the 1999 election. I'd been the opposition spokesperson on youth affairs going into that election. So I was a little surprised when Helen told me that I was going to have this role. But it didn't take me long to work out that all of the issues that I'd been working on with young people were exactly the same. It's all about a sense of belonging. It's all about participation, it's about security, it's about being actively engaged. And so a lot of the ways that you might address these, they might be different, and actually the way things panned out for people, the sense of belonging and security, the ability to participate and contribute without these connections. When in younger people, I was seeing young people who were becoming alienated and troubled. And with older people, I was seeing people who were becoming isolated and lonely. And I guess, and often afraid. So I believe now, as I did then, that building and maintaining the ability to participate in the community and nurturing that sense of belonging are vital at both ends of life spectrum. And I still believe that many of the solutions lie in connecting generations together, building communities of all ages. And I love that expression before, for all. It's very much, it's very important. And it was only a few short months after I released the positive ageing strategy that I was here opening Parkside. It represented the very best of what I had been seeking to achieve with the strategy. This place personified a community that enables and facilitates positive ageing. Now, I actually searched for the speech I gave and I finally found it on a CD. Do you remember those? I referred to my comments at the launch of the positive ageing strategy, where I said it was vital that the strategy was not seen as the end of the journey, but in fact a beginning. It was an explicit articulation of government's commitment to create a society in which all New Zealanders could age in a positive way. I said that the level of commitment that I saw expressed at the opening, acknowledging in particular the council, was a wonderful example of how local authorities can work in partnership with older people in their communities to achieve exactly that kind of society. Now, having now been a mayor of a city for 9 years, I could not agree more with that statement. The ability to partner, to reach out into the community, that sits at the council level, and that's where the greatest reach can be achieved and the greatest benefits can be achieved as well. You have absolutely delivered in spades. Enabling people to be active and engaged in a way that helps them to take on life's challenges, whether it's the Counterpunch Parkinson's program or attending a Tai Chi class that leads you to China for the first time in your life at a time perhaps you're not expecting it to happen. This is the magic of what you have created here. Your extraordinary manager, Robin, sent me a copy of what you could call the COVID annual report, 2020 to 2021. And I was blown away. Now, I know that Ototaki Christchurch is famous for the Student Volunteer Army and the work that they continue to do in the community to this day. You know that that is the biggest and most successful club on campus still today. So it really has found a home. But what I read in that report about what Parkside did to support the community through one of the worst crises that we have had to face was absolutely outstanding. I was moved to see how you had encouraged those isolating at home to exercise their creativity and imagination. That's what keeps hope alive. I say that COVID was one of the worst crises because in order to protect each other, we had to do the very opposite of what we instinctively want to do, and that's to reach out, come together and support each other in a time of need. You found many ways around the limitation, and thank goodness you did. I remember having so much hope for this centre when it opened, and this is the 21st birthday party where we come together to marvel at what has been achieved. And like any 21st, we look forward to the future, and in your case, this means your vision for an older person's community services hub, enabling other community service organisations to be on site at Parkside, as you've already done with Age Concern, and we've already heard about the work that's going on towards that. And of course, developing an age-friendly strategy for Rotorua, which I know was disrupted by COVID, but with your track record proving that you will achieve it. And of course, as I said, we acknowledge all the volunteers and the sponsors who've been part of the kaupapa of this place right from the start. I've worn my Rotary badge in acknowledgement of the partnership role that they played, and I acknowledge to the Rotorua Trust. You have, with Parkside, built something truly unique in this nation. Together you have lived your aspirations and helped people live their best lives. You should be incredibly proud of all you have achieved. I'm incredibly proud of what you've achieved. And your council can be grateful for Parkside, and we've already heard from the Mayor that they are, and the role that you've played, as well as the sponsors who continue to support the Trust. Community assets developed by the community for the community are worth their weight in gold. You are the glue that holds the community together. As I come to, you have exceeded every expectation, every hope that I held for you when I opened the centre 21 years ago, and I know you will continue to set new goals and achieve those as well. As I come to the end of many years in a public service role, I couldn't feel happier that you chose to have me share this special occasion with all of you. Thank you, and very good luck for tonight. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
Thank you, Lianne. That was just amazing, and it's just fantastic to have you here. We have a little something for you, and it's rather special. Where's Tim, please? Tim. There's Tim, and everyone, that's Tim. We were very fortunate to have support from the Rotorua Trust to allow the house that the Trust owns next door to be renovated in order to have offices for aged concern, and Rory, acknowledging you here today. And part of that work, the cupboard needed to come out to create a share space, and in it was rough-sawn beautiful Remu, and our wonderful Tim volunteer. He does Scrabble, he does Canaster, and he's amazing with wood, and he's fixed nearly every table in here at one point or other for me. And he has made this beautiful inlaid breadboard, and he's even put Parkside on it. And this is just a small thank you very much for coming up for this, and a souvenir from Parkside. We'll see you at the 30th, maybe the 50th as well. For those of you who remember your 21st birthday, you remember you got the cake. Have a look at the cake before, later. We've got cake to be cut so you can still see this lovely one here. But you might also remember if you had some mischievous mates at the yard glass. Yes? Peter? No, it's okay. We've only thankfully